Hey guys, I'm back again doing another makeup look. Today's look is going to be a little bit more dramatic. It's going to have deeper eyeshadow colors. It's going to have more contouring. I would definitely consider this a glam look, if that's what you want to call it. That's what I would call it. I've already went ahead and decided what colors that I was going to be doing for this look. So I will show you step by step the process of how I went from this to this. So I'm going to show you guys how to do this look. So the first thing I'm going to do is work on my brows. I'm going in with my brow glue by NYX just to shape everything and lay everything down. I usually give that 1 to 2 minutes just to make sure it's dried completely, and then once that's completely dried, I'm going to go in and fill in and shape my brows with a pomade. The one that I'm using right now is by Anastasia in the color Ebony. It's kind of like a dark brown, almost black, and I'm only going to use that for where the arch of my brow starts all the way to the end of my eyebrow. I tend to take quite a bit of time on my brows. I like them to be as similar as possible, but just remember your eyebrows are sisters, they're not twins, they're not going to look identical. So once I'm done using the ebony for the arch and the outer of my eyebrows, I'm going to go in with a medium brown by Milani in shade 05. And I'm going to use that in the front to the middle of my brows just to kind of give it that natural ombre look. This is where my eyebrows are going to start looking a little crazy. They're going to look a little messy, and that's okay because now we're going to go in and clean everything up. So usually for this step, I would go in and use a concealer. Unfortunately, I do not have a concealer at the moment, so I'm going in with a foundation. This is the Bear With Me Blur Foundation by NYX in light neutral. So this foundation is a love-hate relationship with me. I love using it as a concealer for shaping my brows or covering up any acne spots or dark spots that I have on my face, but I really don't like it as an all-over foundation. It's just really, really thick and heavy. So then once I have that all laid out and shaped, I'm going to go in with my finger and just kind of in a pat motion, blend everything into the skin and make sure there's no harsh outer lines. Once that's complete, we're going to move on to the eyeshadow. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to apply a primer, and I'm going to pat that on and let it dry till it gets nice and tacky. All of the colors I'm going to be using for this look come from the same palette. It's from my 39S Morphe palette. I'm going to be grabbing a flat, fluffy brush, and I'm going to dip that into a magenta color. It's really pretty. I was actually really surprised how much I liked this color. You're mainly going to want to focus on your eyelid, maybe a little bit of your eye crease, but you don't want to extend that color any more up towards your brow. You just want to focus on your eyelid. Once you're happy with how that's turned out, you're going to go in with a clean, bigger, fluffy brush, and you're just going to blend out that harsh line in your crease. This is where it's okay to go up a little bit higher because you want that airbrush look. You want it to be nice and soft. And it's okay to go back with that original brush you went in with the first time to put a little bit more of that pigment back into it if you realize you've taken too much off. So the second color, I'm going to be using a burgundy color called Why Not, and I'm going to be using a smaller, flat, fluffy brush, and I'm just going to pack that color on right into the crease line, right where we just blended everything out. The reason why we blended everything out is so everything kind of melts together. I'm going to go in with a small, fluffy brush and do the same thing like I did the first time. Just kind of blend those two colors together while also bringing that color up a little bit just to get rid of those harsh lines. Now I'm going to apply the last color. This is going to be a really dark brown with a little bit of red undertone in it. The color that I'm using is called That's Tempting. I'm basically going in with a really small, round, fluffy brush, and I'm going to apply that to the outer corner of my eye. I'm going to bring it up into the crease a little bit. You don't want to go too far into your eye. You just want to add a little bit of depth to that outer part of your eye. After I've applied that, I'm going to go in with the biggest fluffy brush that I have, and I'm just going to go in and melt all three of those colors together. I will actually go back in with those other brushes that I used to blend out the colors just to help blend more of each color into one another. I'm not picking up any more product, I'm just simply blending whatever is left on those brushes. I'm also just really taking my time blending everything out. I just want to make sure everything has been blended together to the point of where I'm happy with it. Once I'm done with my eyeshadow, I'm going to take a makeup remover wipe and I'm just going to clean up any fallout that may have happened underneath my eye, and I'm also going to create a sharp line on the sides of my eyes where I would normally place my eyeliner. Now it's time to prime my face and apply my foundation. I use the L'Oreal Infallible foundation. I really like this product. It wears really well. I also use 2 beauty blenders in this process. I use my larger beauty blender for obviously the larger areas of my face, such as my forehead, my cheeks, and when I blend any foundation from my chin down to my neck. I use my smaller beauty blender for underneath my eyes and around my eyebrow area just to make sure I don't get any of the foundation product on my eyeshadow or my filled in eyebrows. So the reason why I do my eyeshadow first before my foundation is just to make sure none of that eyeshadow falls out onto the foundation I had just applied. Once that eyeshadow fallout hits your foundation, it's really hard to go back and remove it, because once you remove that after your foundation, it's just a big old mess. So it's so much easier to do your eyeshadow first, clean everything off, then go in with your foundation. I also recommend that process for people who are just starting out working with a heavy set makeup look. It's so much easier. So now I'm going in with my contour. I'm going in with a fluffy contour brush, and I'm going to apply that directly onto my cheekbone, not underneath it, on my forehead line, on the sides of my hairline. I'm also going to apply that underneath my chin, where my jawline is, and on the sides of my nose, and a little bit on underneath the tip of my nose. Now, I cannot stress this enough. The way that I contour my face is probably most likely going to be different than how you contour yours. Your contour solely relies on the shape of your face and your bone structure. So everybody's contour layout is probably going to be different. It may be similar, but it's not going to be exactly the same. Now when I go in to blend my contour on my cheeks, I'm not going to be pulling down the product. I'm actually going to be blending that up towards my cheeks. Once I've got everything blended out to the way I like it and I'm happy with it, I'm actually going to go back in with my small beauty blender, or you can use a really small makeup brush for this, but I like to go back in and just create that brightness back to the bridge of my nose and just a little bit on the sides of my nose. It just kind of helps that contour be a little bit stronger. So now that our foundation and contour is done, we're going to go ahead with our powders and set everything. So the first one I'm going to go in and set is my contour. I actually use a foundation setting powder instead of a bronzer. Just want to use one that's about 2, maybe 3 shades darker than what you would normally use for your natural skin tone. Most people would use a bronzer to set their contour, but I really don't like using bronzer. It's just a little too shiny and shimmery for what I like. I like more of that matte finish. Once that's done, I'm going to go in with my last and final setting powder. The one I'm using is the HD Flawless by Absolute New York. I love this setting powder. It is a translucent powder, so you're not going to really get any color from it. It is super fine, super silky. It applies so nicely, especially to the under eyes. It's not going to make any crease lines under your eyes. So when I'm applying this powder, I'm taking my sponge and directly going into the product, but then I am tapping on the back of my hand to remove any of the excess powder that is on the sponge. It's also going to evenly distribute that product onto the sponge, so when I'm applying it to my face, it's going to give you more of that light airbrush finished look. Once I've done that, I'm just going to go in with my kabuki brush just to kind of remove any extra powder that may be sitting on my face, and it's also going to help blend that contour powder into the rest of that setting powder. I'm just touching up the inner corner of my eyeshadow, just in case if any foundation or foundation setting powder has gotten into that area. We want to bring that color back into that area. So next is blush, and the blush I'm using is NYX Matte Blush in the color Bang Bang. It's such a pretty mauve color. I love this one. When I'm applying my blush, I'm going to focus more of the product on the outside of my cheek and then blend upwards. You don't want to put it directly underneath your eye in the middle of your cheek. This by far is my favorite highlight to use. This is by Juvia's from the Tribe Highlighter Volume 3 collection. It is it's really my absolute favorite highlighter. It is so pretty and bright. So I'm applying that to the tops of my cheekbone, a little bit onto the bridge of my nose, and just whatever product is left over on that brush, I'm going to apply it to the tip of my nose. Once all of the powder and everything is finished, I'm going to go in with my setting spray. So I apply my setting spray before I put any eyeliner or mascara on, just in case, to prevent any makeup running or smearing. So what I'm applying next is a lip liner stain. What you do is you paint this product on really thick. You want that nice thick amount right where you would place it as a lip liner, and you let it dry. You probably let it sit for about 15 minutes, and once it's dry, it creates this peelable film. And when you peel that off, it leaves that stain color behind. It's great for long wear use. So for my eyeliner, I'm going to be using two different products. The first one I'm going in with is an eyeliner pen, and I'm just going to use that to basically sketch out the shape and the length of where I want my eyeliner to be. The reason why I do this is because this product isn't super dark, but it's a little bit easier to apply without making any mistakes. So once I've got that basically laid out, I'm going to go in with my liquid eyeliner. Now this is going to be a lot runnier, it's going to be easier to mess up. So that's why I go ahead and sketch out basically where I want to place this product afterwards. Once eyeliner is done, I'm going to go in with my lash curler and give both my eyes a really nice curl. It doesn't have to be too intense. And then I'm going to be using my L'Oreal Panorama mascara. This is my absolute favorite mascara. It's not super thick, it's not too thin, and it really evenly distributes that product onto every single one of my lashes. So when I'm done applying that to my upper lashes, I'm not going to be adding any more product to that brush, but whatever is left over, I'm going to apply to my bottom lash line. And I'm just doing that ever so lightly. So when I'm done with my mascara, I'm going to go ahead, give that some time to dry, and then I'm going to apply my false lashes that I want to use. I'm using a more dramatic curl look for mine, but obviously you can use whatever lashes you're more comfortable with. So now that lashes are done, I went ahead and I removed that lip stain peel, and it turned out a little bit lighter than I wanted, so I'm just going on top of that with a chocolate lip liner, and I'm going to just fill in all those spaces that I originally wanted lined. Once I'm done with the lip liner, I'm taking a nice nude lip color and I'm just melting that into my lip liner. You can use your finger like I'm using to blend those two together. Once I'm done applying that, I'm going to go in with a lip gloss. I'm using a sheer nude color. It doesn't have too much pigment color to it, but it's just going to help that nude lipstick that I put on pop a little bit more. Thank you so much for checking out my video today. If you have any questions about the products that I may have used today, or how I maybe did a specific technique when it came to like contour or my shading, you're more than welcome to send me a personal message, or you can comment down below and I will absolutely answer those questions for you. All right, well, thanks again for watching, and keep a lookout for my next video to come out. Bye.